Welcome inside the WV Mason Coaches Report. Ryan Mayer here with the head coach for the Hofstra Prime baseball team, John Russo. And Coach, you had 4 games over the weekend. Again, 2 against Quinnipiac, 2 against Fordham. Let's start with the 2 against Quinnipiac. You end up completely shutting them out over the 2 games, 9-0 in the first game, 6-0 in the second. What did you see from your pitching staff overall in those 2 games? I know you got a good start from David DeRico as well in there.
We did. I've said all along I think this team will be based off of pitching, and we got to see a little bit of this weekend. We got a great first performance from Dave DeRico, going 8 innings. He probably could have went 9, no problem. He sat somewhere between 88 and 92 miles an hour, and even in his last inning of work in the 8th inning, he was 90 above every pitch. And he just had great stuff and a great presence, and he was a great first person for us to throw of the weekend. And then the second game, we went with the freshman Dave Jesh, who's been throwing really well out of the bullpen, and we thought it was time to get him a start on the mound, and he lived up to what we thought. He was 88, 89, and had a really good 6 innings. Was probably maybe a call away from having a no-hitter going through 6 innings, and finally tired a little bit come the end of the 6th inning. But what great 2 starts they gave us and a chance in those first 2 games.
Now in those 2 games, obviously the offense showing up as well, 15 runs over the course of that 16-inning span. So what did you see from your bats in terms of being able to immediately get out there, get some run support for your starters?
We've been just really swinging the bat really well, and more importantly, we're running the bases and have a lot of continuity between the both of them. The runners are running off the breaking balls, the changeups that the hitters are getting, and the hitters are getting a lot of fastballs because we have runners on base. And the whole lineup's really been working. Dalton and Danny at the top of the order, and then Matt and Jared both hitting over 400 in the 3 and 4 hole, and Brian Verbitsky, to have the luxury to hit him in the 7 hole is a really good luxury. And then this weekend I thought we had really good performance from Austin Nyman. Really started to turn around and swing the bat some, and had 4 stolen bases too on the weekend.
Now, Coach, also these 2 games of back-to-back shutouts, it's the first time that's happened since 1975, actually, for this program. Is that something you were aware of, or just something you found out after the 2 games were already over?
It was something I found out from reading the article, just like everybody else. And I received a lot of texts and congratulations, and everybody thought it. And even somebody even sent me a text saying, "Were you even born?" And I responded, "I was 2 at the time." So, we'll take it. And I think we had 3 more scoreless innings to start Sunday, and we had 3 at Notre Dame. So we had 22 scoreless in a row. So that was a real big performance. I think the pitching staff lowered their ERA about 2.5 points this weekend. So we're really excited where they're at right now.
Now we move forward to Sunday. Obviously, another doubleheader against Fordham. You win the first game 7-2, and then just can't get the comeback to go the full way again against Fordham. In the second game, you lose 6-5. First off, starting with that 7-2 win, another strong outing from a starter. You get John Tiedemann to go a little bit deeper in the game this time. He picks up his first win of the season. What did you see from him on the mound?
He, like you said, he hadn't had 2 good performances yet, but we've been expecting to have good performance. And he went 6 innings, 2 runs. I think he had 6 or 7 Ks, and he probably had better stuff in the 6th inning than he had the whole game. And he definitely could have stayed out there longer, but we were happy with what his start was and the positives to come through that. And we have a lot of confidence in our bullpen. We were able to follow him up with Cody Norman had a shutout inning, and Joe Berg had another shutout inning. He's been really good. And Jared Rogers actually closed out that game with a really nice inning. And it made our whole pitching staff better when our starters are able to go 5, 6 innings and get guys to stay in some roles. And I really feel this pitching staff starting to develop and come together as a unit.
Now you move forward to the second game. Obviously, a 6-5 loss, as I mentioned. They jump out to an early 5-0 lead. What did you see from your starter and John Schilt that maybe he just didn't have his stuff on Sunday?
It was weird. I think his Ed Liney only gave up 1 earned run, or maybe 2 earned runs in 3 1/3. He had 7 strikeouts. He had really good stuff. His slider, he had 7 strikeouts in 3 2/3 innings, and he had really bad luck. There was a play I thought should have been made by one of our players that didn't get made. There was a tough call at first base that went against us that cost a couple runs, and we just didn't seem to have everything going right there off the start. And something with those 7-inning games, I don't feel like the better team always wins, and it just took us a little while to get going. But I feel like after that 5 runs, we could have easily laid down and just been happy with the 3 games we'd won already. And they showed unbelievable character to fight back, and a big hit from Jared Hammer to tie it up. And I couldn't have been more proud of their effort they gave Sunday, maybe than the whole weekend.
And you speak about Jared Hammer over the course of the weekend, really had himself a very good weekend. 10 for 15, 9 RBI over the course of the weekend, 4 doubles as well. What have you seen from him that's been allowing him to swing the bat so well?
I thought he was an unsung hero of last year's team. He had 340, probably as big a hits as what we had all last season. And, he's just somebody that we've come to depend on. And, he delivers every day on and off the field. He works out really hard. He's always in the weight room. He's always extra conditioning. He's always early, getting ground balls. And, I think he's always hitting extra. And, he's getting the fruits of hard work that he's put in. And, he had a bunch of big hits for us this weekend, and it's almost come to expect it of him. He's hitting, like you said, 10 for 15, 460 almost on the year. And what a great weekend he's had. Maybe as good a weekend as I've seen here. And then, Matt Ford's also really started to deliver. And, you got Dalton at the top of the lineups, almost over a 500 on base percentage. And Danny, preseason guy. I mean, I don't think teams are happy about facing our 1 through 4 right now.
Now, Coach, another big thing for you guys in terms of the stat line this weekend, 15 stolen bases for your team. You have 31 of 39 overall in the year. So not only are you stealing, you're stealing very efficiently. What has been the key to that so far this season?
The beginning of it was, just to give them the green light to go and not worry about pickoffs or throwouts. I just wanted them to feel aggressive, to really run the bases. And now it's evolved a little bit to, now we're really hitting at a high pace, so we're getting a lot of off speeds, curveballs, change-ups, and it's making the guys, even more aggressive and not, less likely to be picked off. And somebody like Matt Ford has 5 stolen bases, but in turn he has Jared Hammer behind him, who's getting a lot of off-speed pitches, and in turn Matt's got 5 bags, is picking the right time to steal. And, as much as we've had the stolen bases, I could say it's been a big help to our batting average, because teams have been having to feed us fastballs, worried about us ready to run. And I'm just really excited where the offense is after 11 games. I thought it would take a little bit longer, somewhere games 15 and 20, and I was hoping we would be able to get there before we play George Mason, and I feel like we're way ahead of where I thought we'd be.
Now, you speak about George Mason. They're coming up this weekend. They come in with a pretty solid pitching staff so far this year, 2 starters with a sub-1 ERA on the year. But the rest of their staff, once you get past them into the bullpen, seems to be a little bit susceptible to getting knocked around a bit. What have you talked to the team about in terms of their approach at the plate this weekend?
We meet on Wednesdays. We discuss the past weekend. We talk about the upcoming weekend. And like you said, we've been doing our homework on George Mason. Almost started last week and got really heavy into it this morning. And, I don't know if there's a better pitcher or hotter pitcher in the country right now than Anthony Montefiusco. I mean, he's coming off a 9-inning 2-hit performance, 12 strikeouts, no walks. And he's been really good. He had another shutout earlier against Appalachian State, who had a really nice team. They beat LSU 2 or 3. A weekend ago, so they have a nice team. But, as much as they're talking about Anthony Montefiusco, or we're going to be talking, I think they're talking just as much about David DeRico. So, it's going to be a great Friday night matchup. I'm so excited for it. And I think, it's just going to be a great conference weekend. And, something that did give us a little bit of hope with their pitching staffs. They did give up 18 on Saturday against Bryant. And, I think, our offense is run a little bit better than their offense. And, it's going to be a tough matchup. I mean, they have 5 preseason all-conference guys, and I think they're hiddenly probably one of the best teams in the conference coming up. In my eyes, I think them, William Mary, are off to really hot starts, and so it's going to be a great test to see where we're at. And I'm happy with where we're playing and how we're playing baseball right now to get there.
Now, Coach, one final thing on George Mason. It seems like so far this year they're allowing opposing teams to really steal bases at a pretty high clip, and that's something that we've already talked about. You guys do pretty well. Is that an area you're looking to continue to harp on with this team? Okay, we can get out and run on these guys?
Well, listen, whoever we play is going to have a lot of trouble with our running game because we don't slow down. And the one thing I like is they're going to probably have to spend a little bit of time this week getting ready for us, and in turn they're not going to be able to stay to what they do. But, we have to worry about getting on base first. I mean, Montefiusco is going to be really tough, and they had the other kid, Feligi, done really well. And their Sunday starters, the other guy with the under 1 ERA. And so, our first priority is to get on first. And, we usually shoot for about 6 runs a game. I think this weekend will be a little bit less, 3 to 4, and hope we can win. But I feel like our pitching staff will be able to hold them down just as much as they might be able to hold us.
All right. Well, Coach John Russo, thanks for joining me inside the WV Mason Coaches Report. We'll talk to you next week.
Thank you very much.